Right, so Reddit user, I'm gonna jump right into this thing. Reddit user, Soya Damsa, and I got into an argument a couple days ago about if the Sarpa or the Redeemer is better. Redeemer Prime. Let's be very clear here. Now, let's be very clear about what the arguments are. He says because this thing scales slash and viral, and because it fires off multiple projectiles instead of one big blast, it is going to be better at scaling, and that this weapon overall is better because of those attributes. My argument is the Redeemer one-shot shit. So, let's test this stuff. The main arguments are going to be base, how this thing performs with no ribbon, how this thing performs with a ribbon, and then just a couple other little things. So, my ribbon for this one is slash melee damage, combo duration, negative crit damage. The shotgun for this thing cannot crit, and the melee just doesn't crit very often. This is fantastic. We're going to get rid of that for a second. This is a pretty standard build, and he was adamant about Shattering Impact being the best possible mod for this weapon, so we're going to include that on any build that can fit it. These two mods are good for building, getting the actual status chains to be usable and not be poop, slash viral condition overload damage. So we're going to test this thing out, and then we're going to jump over to the Redeemer with no ribbon and kind of show off how that thing works. My PC account got stolen, you could say. So I only have my level 19 console account. Still should be enough to test versus high level boys. Takes a few to get her running. Once you get her going, she definitely kills just fine. 2 to 3 charge combos will do the trick. Yep. You know. Now, this weapon has a really nice synergy with Condition Overload because it can get a lot of elements. It can get all 3 IPS and it can get 2 more elements. And if you use someone like Neja, you can even get fire in there too. Meaning it can scale Condition Overload pretty quickly. But it can't crit, it cannot access crits. So yeah, a couple of the differences before we go forward. The Sarpa is a burst fire weapon, and the Redeemer is a shotgun. I think the Redeemer is much more accurate. This is incredibly inaccurate. But, you know, I guess pick your poison. Because it is a burst fire, this weapon doesn't need full status to get consistent status procs, but its base status is so low. We're going to need Weeping Wounds. On the flip side, we're going to go to the Redeemer. The Redeemer is in every way a shotgun with infinite ammo, and because of that, it needs to... what will be a good word for that? You need full status to get this thing to be really status viable. So effectively, before you have 100% status, the Redeemer is lower. You can see it's honestly pretty combo accuracy-wise. The Redeemer is worse at status until you max it out, and then when you have full status, it does a lot more damage. So yeah, let's test this thing out. No ribbons, prime mods for both, yada yada yada. So it doesn't really need the same ramp up the other one does. Off the bat, from a little ways away, it needs 2 or 1.5 more, like bombards, particularly. So, but if you hit your shots, 3 shots maximum will kill something. So yeah, that's how that works. And yep, let's go into ribbons. Now my ribbon for the Redeemer you've seen before. It status chance, other stuff, all that jazz. We can get rid of blast, go full corrosive. Bada bing, bada boom. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's see what this thing does. No quality of life mods, just pure corrosive damage and status. This is basically a shotgun that has access to the overpowered damage modifiers for melee weapons, and it pretty consistently one combos people. And you can see, once you get that combo going, you can get one shots, especially with the 3rd shot. So, right there, that 3rd one. If you don't kill someone with the first 2, hold it again, and that last shot will kill them. Like anything. We can't I mean, we're not going to test this versus with the Sarpa, but Noxes are basically immune to slash. So this is one instance where the Redeemer just outright wins. If you get a headshot with that third shot, which I'm trying to do, I mean, not really necessary because I'm still nuking these guys. Yeah, handle those just fine. It's one of the best anti-Nox weapons in the game. So yeah, we're going to chalk that up to a win for the Redeemer. Base build, no Rivens with the preferred setup. One with slash viral and the other one with corrosive. But that's not the only thing we can do. Let's go test some Rivens out. Well, I mean, it's already with Rivens for this one, which I lost my place. So yeah, that's with Riven. You already saw without Riven. Let's test the Sarpa with a Riven. Bada bing, bada boom. I lost my place, actually. I confess. I kind of got lost there for a second because I have a lot of fun doing this. This is the Riven build. It's got slash. Yeah, I already looked over that. All this stuff. All the mods you like. Make sure yeah, this was the non-melee. What was on this one? Drifting contact? Yeah, I have combo duration, so I don't need drifting contact. That's what I lost. So I lost a tiny bit of status chance in exchange for a ton of damage and almost no impact and puncture procs, which is good because we want to dump those slashes into them. And this is pretty good. I don't know what Shattering Impact is doing for us because we're killing them with slashes. A insisted. Once you get this going, it can one charge combo the bombards, or it cannot, because it's much more reliant on headshots, and because these weapons are very inaccurate, it's hard to guarantee those. So if you use all three, you can kill in like 3 to 5 to 6 shots. You know, it's slightly worse with the Riven than the other one, but it's still quite good. And here's my issue with this. You have to wait for them to bleed out with this weapon. There is no just nuking them with damage. And if you build for corrosive, which I could show you real quick, we can go show you. Even built for corrosive, it's not nuking them. It's killing them quickly, but it's lacking that oomph. Yeah, it's just take my word for it. Corrosive is worse. I'm trying to get this be a little bit quicker. I don't want it to be like a 30-minute video. I recorded this once, and it was literally 30 minutes, and I don't want to do that again. So, same builds. Both are using condition overload in full status. And we're going to add in a primer. Now he said, you want to use the Bronco Prime. I'll do one better, Twin Roga Prime. Which is just a Twin Roga standard because this weapon's busted. This is a build built around status dumping. It's just corrosive and blast. And then we'll switch it to radiation and viral. This will give us all IPSs and 2 status effects that aren't on the weapon already. And then we'll just, we shoot it there. And yeah, it kills them pretty quickly. No, wait, hold up. If you hit all those shots to the head, now the issue is if they stand up, which I want to, because you don't get the multipliers from lying down. Yeah, it kills these guys. It's really nice against the bombards. Remember, bombards are weak to slash because they have very low health. Against these guys, you let them stand up. It's a bit worse. And I'm trying to do that because you can't get the, you get no armor strip or the multipliers from lying down with the Redeemer setup. So I'm trying to level the playing field. The corrosive blast setup is way better for priming than radiation viral. We're gonna go to radiation viral, and it can't be, worse, right? Let's see how this thing does when you get them primed. So now we're getting corrosive, radiation viral, and IPS. It just one-shots him. Spoiler alert, it one-shots him. The problem is it just one-shots him either way. But yeah, if you prime it, one-shot him even harder. And yeah, if you're running a primer, this weapon will do better than the Sarpa. Only slightly this time. It only slightly wins, but it does definitely win. We could test melee, but honestly, it's a bit of a wash because the shotgun in this one built for melee is so strong, it basically carries the fact. Now, I will say, in defense of the Sarpa, When built for melee, I think I have a melee build on here. No, do I not? Do I not? Alright, we'll make a melee build. For melee, you're going to want High Noon. The Sarpa, I'd say, is more comfortable to use melee-wise, because it has access to the ability to use the shotgun mode with slash viral. And because the melee for these is slash based, you can use slash viral and kind of just jump between both. Weeping Wounds, obviously. Relentless Combination. That's going to give us lots of status and all that jazz. And we're going to use Drifting Contact. And this is going to allow us to use our slashes and our gunshots to relatively good effect. And I think this is the one spot. So, like, you can do that, and you can, like, code them in. Kind of, I don't know. Slash attacks. You can use the charge attack to dump shots into them, and then come melee them a couple times to get some of the beefier slashes. Like that right there, that's a really nice combo. Because you get some beefy slashes from the throws, and you get lots of viral, and just, it does good damage. Like, I don't want to say I don't like the Sarpa, because I do genuinely like this weapon, especially like this. This is my preferred way of using it. DPS-wise, you're doing a little less, but you have a lot more options. You get those blast procs, all that jazz. Now, for the Redeemer, if we were going to use it a similar way, it's going to look more like this. Let's go over to that. And notice I'm being very fair here. I'm using the exact same enemies and builds. So this is what the Corrosive Condition Overload build looks like. You could go, oh, you gotta go slash and viral. But because the shots can't... We're trying to use a hybrid build. And because the shots can't use slash and viral, we're going to try to use Corrosive. The issue is... this weapon doesn't want to use the melee mode because it can just dumpster stuff. And yeah, I've used the melee mode. It does good damage. And especially if you land the shotgun shells and the combos, it's just gonna like one-shot stuff. Very nice. In fact, let's get what can we test against? Let's get another Bombard, I guess. Because we're going to be getting more stuff to proc Condition Overload. Come on. Come back here, you. I don't like this. I don't like this setup. Now we got his armor off, slash does more, but not slash procs. Don't at me with that. It's slash damage does more. I wish I could find a way to make him not be over there. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna forget that. I think that's a good showcase. I mean, it's pretty evident if we check mark it that built for Corrosive, the Redeemer outputs way more damage than the Sarpa can keep up with, and we haven't even touched crit, and crit's important. But we got one more thing. Now, the Sarpa specializes in damage over time. And that's not what this weapon specializes with because it can't access slash. But we will make a gas build. And we're going to put both of them with a gas build because both of them should be good with gas. No primers, no nothing. If you really want to make a gas build stupid, by the way, Rhino will do that for you. So yeah, let's get the big boys. For these boys. We're going to test gas versus armor. No buffs. Just walk up, see what this do. I don't even know if this is the right build, but this is the wrong stance. Don't have the right combo. But I think my point stands. That one guy was one shot, the far right one, I think. Let's get the right build going. That's the wrong one. Supposed to go over here and replace. We need Volcanic Edge. And what goes here? What do I have over here on that? Prime pressure point. Oh, attack speed on that one. We don't need attack speed. We don't need attack speed. What can we use here? Maybe we could boost crit. I don't know if that's really important, though. What can we put here? You know what? We're gonna use Fury. No, I'm gonna get the Sarpa build for you. Because gas is important, because with Rhino or stealth builds, it's your bread and butter. And that's my issue. This weapon built for gas outputs as much single target damage. Look, that's 3. So that's what the Sarpa needed when ramped up to kill most of those enemies. And it can kill them with gas. That's my issue. That's the ultimate issue for me. Is that even built for damage over time that isn't as powerful as Slash, the Redeemer still beats it. And obviously, let's go get a gas build for the Sarpa, because we gotta be fair. I'm being fair. Can't say I'm not being fair here. We're gonna ditch Shattering Impact because we're doing AoE damage. Single target armor strip is not very important. Relentless Combination still is, though, because we are gonna be doing a fair number of Slash procs. And we do need that the Weeping Wounds scaled up quickly, because that's where most of our damage is coming from. It's coming from status procs, which Weeping Wounds scales up. And, you know, it does well. That right there, 2 of those hits. Yeah, this isn't bad. It's very nice. And if the Redeemer didn't exist, I'd say this is a top 5 melee weapon. Obviously, you have Ram Prime. You have the Redeemer. Probably a dual sword. Like, you take your pick of dual swords. But then after that, you know, if we're not counting Zaws, because there's like 5 Zaws that make it into the top 5. After that, there's definitely room for this thing. It's a very, very potent weapon, and it does a lot of status once you get Weeping Wounds amped up. It's not the Redeemer. It isn't. And I think I've proven that here. I don't know if there's much more to show you. We've done gas. I could do a quick corrosive build so you can see, just to be fair. But we've done gas. We've done damage over time. We've done, you know, with primed. We've done melee modes. How do we do? We're going to do corrosive. We want to keep that. We're going to throw on electricity instead of volcanic edge. This isn't exactly the best weapon for corrosive, because again, it's still good. And it's gonna be much better versus heavy gunners. But it's kind of like, you know, it's attacking the armor on 2 fronts. I don't know if it's really the best way of doing that, but I know it's still good. We're definitely doing more obvious upfront damage. That's nice. That's almost with a Riven and a corrosive build keeps pace with the Redeemer. But the issue still stands. The Sarpa, even when built up, waits for bleed outs, and the Redeemer doesn't. And that's why the Redeemer is better. And even if you build for damage over time, the Redeemer can... Here. We're going to put a scenario there, why this thing is so powerful. This is the gas build. Hypothetically, the whole room, it is a beginning, the end of a Sortie 3 defense in Corrupted. And you have 4 of these guys, 3 of these guys, 2 of these guys, 2 of these guys. A couple of these guys are all pushing you. A whole variety of enemies that are very, very tough. The Sarpa can't do that. That guy's probably gonna die. If it doesn't, I don't care. Easy one-hit combos in level 100s. It can just kind of remove whole groups of enemies. There's one other boy left. Where are you? Where are you, boy? I heard you. Oh, are you underneath? No? Where'd you go? There you are. Yeah. I will add a caveat. If you scale to a certain level, to the point where corrosive isn't really doing anything for you, the Sarpa might scale better due to its multiple instances of damage to do slash and viral. I personally think corrosive scales better, but if you're really into slash and viral, the Sarpa will scale at least equally well past level 200. But that is like saying a certain suit of body armor is better if you fall off a 20-story building and land on your gut. Yes, technically that is true, but it doesn't mean it's actually useful information to have. No one using this Sarpa is without buffs going into level 200 plus content. And I don't want to hear that's, I take my Atlas into arbitrations with just a Sarpa and no damage buffs and I stayed there for 6 hours. I don't want to hear it. That's bullshit. Okay? Any content you can feasibly find that you're going to run with a standard frame, the Redeemer outstrips the Sarpa. It is it's easier to aim because it's a shotgun. It has better riven disposition. It has more damage. And we didn't even, this whole time, we didn't touch the fact this thing has crit. This thing has crit, and so it can scale crit and hybrid. Meaning that if you really want to, this thing, with a really specific build, can scale better than any melee weapon in the game per single target. And it's not even close. And it scales crit so well to the fact it can kill Eidolons. This thing can kill Eidolons pretty easily. Like, this is my, if I'm going to be testing some weird setup for Eidolons, I bring this thing built for radiation and crit so that I will always have a meta viable Eidolon killer. And yeah, this thing is very aptly named. It is every frame's Lord and Savior. It is the Redeemer. And I don't really want to hear any more argument about this. So yeah, that's about it. Deuces.